Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Big Fish Lad, and today we're going to talk about what went well for me last year and what didn't go so well, or a lesson learned. Now there was lots and lots of things, so I'm going to pick out some stuff. So what I mean by this is I've just done some reflection. We're at the end of the year, we're going into 2021, and I just wanted to have a think about what happened for me that was good and what lessons did I learn. So let's start with some of the good stuff, because we'll save the shit for last day, guys. So guys, probably the best thing that happened to me last year was picking up my Trimax cichlid. So the reason I say that is because that Trimax cichlid was the holy grail, and I've done videos on this obviously, so you know if you watch my videos that he was the holy grail. This was probably the best thing that happened to me last year, and that was the Trimax cichlid, guys. Another good thing, guys, that happened to me was getting my pike cichlids, and I only got them last week. Now, I've been doing some research on pairs of pike cichlids for a while, and when these came along, I just couldn't refuse them. Yes, they're big and they're fully grown, and I don't get to see them grow, but you know what? I'm more than happy, and I see that as one of the best things that happened to me. Another great thing was getting Jagger, my Red Devil. Now this Red Devil I'd pursued previously and didn't get, and then in COVID, in lockdown, I seen it come up from sale and I've got him, and I'm so happy to get him. And again, it's a bigger fish, but the way I do it, guys, is I do grow some fish out. I have grown fish out, but if I see a big fish and I've got the tank, I don't mind buying it. I just don't mind buying it, because how could you not purchase something so beautiful? And I really love this fish. So that, again, guys, was something good to happen to me last year. And something else, guys, was picking up these gold jags, because not a fish that you see regular, but came up in my local fish shop, and the timing of these guys was unbelievable, because there's something that happened that you all know about, but I'll talk about that in the things that happened bad to me last year. But the timing of me getting these fish was phenomenal, and it was absolutely brilliant. So another great thing to happen to me, and they're only small, so I get to grow them out, I get to see them. I think the smallest ones were about 2 inches and the biggest one was about 2.5. So I think this is the dominant male, and he's coming on really well. Probably about 4 inches now, and I'm hoping to get a pair, obviously. But yeah, another great thing that happened to me was these gold jags, guys. So guys, just some good stuff that happened that is now in my fish room for me to enjoy. Like I said, guys, you know, I've got a couple of fish growing out. I've took a couple of fish in that were fully grown. I'm okay with that. That's what I do. But I can enjoy seeing the Trimax grow. I can enjoy seeing the gold jaguars grow, and I can also enjoy the Red Devil, and I can enjoy the pikes that have already grown. I'm okay with that, like I said. Okay, guys, now let's go on to the bit where it wasn't so good. So I think for me, guys, I think you live and learn in this hobby, and I think one of the things for me that didn't go so well was not understanding that changing the fish that I kept, that actually I also have to learn a whole load of new stuff, because I, you know, come out of 30 years of keeping fish and thought to myself, I'll be okay, I can keep fish. But actually, it's not the same. Well, it hasn't been the same for me. I kept Oscars, Waru cichlids, South American stuff, you know, JDs, that kind of stuff. And when I made the full changeover to American cichlids, which was only about 10 months ago, I started to learn a couple of valuable lessons. So obviously the first thing that happened bad to me, guys, the biggest thing that was the worst thing that happened to me, guys, was my jag. So my male jag, Mr. Wimpy, I got him, and he was about 6 inches, I think he was, and I've had him for 2 years. I grew him out to about 12 inches, and he killed himself, and that was a freak accident. So although it was bad, it was a freak accident. There was nothing I could do about that, but that proper broke my heart, I'm not going to lie to you, because he was my main fish. You know, to see him do that, to find him dead in the tank, proper broke my heart. What else did I do, guys? So I suppose going back to the sort of like learning lessons, I've just this last week learned a valuable lesson, and I think this is something I want to share with you, and that is I learned a lesson that some of these Central American fish are very, very vulnerable when moving them and stuff like that. So I think the example I've got is the Cuban cichlids. So I got those Cuban cichlids as a pair off Crazy Dave Thompson 6 months ago, I think it was, and he'd had them about 7 months. So they were only young. They weren't an old fish, an adult fish. They were young, and I took them off him and I put them in a tank, and they were in that tank for 6 months. Okay. Now my focus with those fish was I was trying to breed them. The only thing I was thinking about was breeding them, and lack of knowledge around those fish let me down. Now, I'm someone who asks for help. I'll be honest with you guys. If I had one piece of advice, always ask somebody who knows, because we only know a lot of what we know a lot about. These areas of the hobby that we don't know about and other people do. So just a shout out from me, but 2 people in this hobby who have helped me loads, absolutely loads, are Crazy Dave Thompson and Andy Woods. Those 2 guys are very approachable, always happy to help, but they know a lot about Central American cichlids because they've kept them for a long time. Now, to speak to Dave and to speak to Andy, when they're talking about it, there's so much I learn. So always, guys, seek help from somebody who knows something about what they know about. And you know what, at the same time, share what you know about as well with people. But the valuable lesson, going back to the valuable lesson that I learned was with the Cuban cichlids was, so I moved them, trying to breed them. So I moved them and then didn't work, so I changed the scape. So all the time I'm stressing them out. And last week my female jumped out of the tank. She jumped out of the smallest gap, guys. It was just where the lid hangs over the filter pipe. She jumped out. She would only jump from stress. Then 2 days later, I checked the male and he's full of lymphocysts. So what lymphocysts are, guys, they are a cyst that the fish get. So in a Cuban's case, they get them on the side. Texas and Carbons are quite vulnerable for it, and they can get it on their lips and stuff. Now, my Carpinsis, which I never mentioned because I didn't get him last year, I got him the year before. I grew him from 2.5 inches. Luckily, he's never had it, so fingers crossed he never does, but they can be quite susceptible to it. Now, I didn't know this about the Cubans. I knew it about the Texas and the Carbons, but I didn't know it about the Cubans. So when he's broke out in it, I've sought advice from Andy and from Dave, and it's probably because I moved them after moving them from Dave's and then messing about with their escapes. So with my focus on trying to breed them, I've hampered them. So at the end of the day, that's on me. That's a lesson learned, but that's for the cost of the fish. So speak to people who know what they're doing. If you try anything new, get as much information off the guys that know, guys. That's my advice to you. Now, I'm going to show you the Cuban because I want to share it with you because I think that's the right thing to do. So let's check the Cuban out, guys. So this is my boy, the Cuban cichlid, guys, and as you can see, there's the lymphocyst. Now, he's okay now. He hid in that cave for 2 or 3 days, but he's back out again and he's eating. Now, there is no cure for this, guys. I've just got to let it cure itself. So basically, he will heal, but it can take a long time, like 4 months, maybe 6 months for it to fully heal. So I've just got to leave him to it. I was going to get a female for him, but I'm not doing it. I'm leaving him in this tank on his own, and I'm not going to touch the scape. I'm just going to do the water changes when I need to do them and give him good food, and he will get better, guys. But I just wanted to share that with you. That is the cost of not fully understanding a certain fish. But luckily, guys, he's still alive and we can keep him alive, and that's the main thing. Yeah, so, you know, I can't do anything about it now, guys. I can only learn from it, and I need to now give him the time I need to give him to get him better. But that was probably the worst thing that happened to me. I know the jag broke my heart, but sometimes things happen, but I caused that with the Cubans, so that was probably the worst thing that happened to me. But like I've said to you guys, I just want to make it clear and share that with you, that if you need to learn something or need to know something, don't be afraid to ask other people. And you know, there's loads of people out there willing to help, guys. Loads of people out there willing to help. Anyway, my plans for next year. So I have got a new tank coming tomorrow, so in 2 days, from Maiden Aquatics for my Carpinters. He's currently in a holding tank, and you know, we need to make sure that we get him in this tank right. So I will do a video, but again, I'm going to prioritise the fish, guys. So I need to make sure that I get him out of the tank he's in, into the bucket, into the tank as quick as I can in the right way, ensuring that he doesn't get stressed out. So we're going to do that. He does share a tank with the JD, so that's going to be their tank. It's a 280 litre tank, which is a 75 US gallon tank. So yeah, but when it comes, guys, I will do a video, take you through it, and then that will be my fish room fully done. I will have all new tanks, and then what I'll probably do on the back of that is then I will do a fish room tour. But the biggest lesson I have learned is I am staying away from fish shops. I did a video a few months ago around addiction and stuff like that, and I tried to be clever after I thought that I was okay and put a tank together, and it just didn't go well. And again, it's just not happening anymore. My tanks are all done now, and that's what they'll be staying that way, and that's what is finished. That's the finished article, guys. So like I say, when I get this tank done and we set it up, I will then do a video on it, on the full fish room. But another video that's going to be coming hopefully next week is local fish shop tour to Burton Ernie's. Mark, who owns it, has said to me I can go when the shop's closed, so there'll be no one there. So from COVID situation, it's not a risk. I can go and do it at my own leisure when the shop's closed. So anyway, guys, that's me. So I want to thank you for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed, guys, subscribe to the channel, ping the bell. You can always unsubscribe, and I will see you on the next video.